Let's get some work done today.
Open up, you open up. Bitch, you want baby and ma. We should be closer than friends.
Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining me today. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about my Netflix top 5 plus some honorable mentions and things like that. Before I get started, I want to preface this with today's date. Today is August 30th. So the video was filmed in August. You will see it in September just because I post videos on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and that's how long it takes me to edit. Anyway, before I go into my list, I would just like to say that I am still in mourning over Chadwick Boseman's passing. If I could quickly just give you a gloss over of kind of who he was to me. The first time I remember seeing Chadwick on TV or in movies or whatever was in Lincoln Heights in the early 2000s, where it was actually like the mid 2000s, if we're saying 2000 or 2010. I think 2007 is when that show came out, and I can't remember if he was on the first season or like the beginning of the first season, or if he like was introduced later in the show, but that was my first introduction to him, and I was like, this guy's gonna be great. Like, I don't know who he is, where he came from, but I feel like he's going to do very well in the entertainment industry. And so I followed his career. I watched every single movie that he was in. When I tell you I'm a fan of his the same way I am a fan of Samuel L. Jackson, Denzel Washington, Tom Hanks. I have seen all of their movies. I have seen all of his movies. I have seen all of his movies that I am aware, exist, like that I could find. And I have seen most of his shows. I think he was in a show they kind of all get put in one place together, and they all come from different walks of life, and they have to kind of coexist and something like that. And I remember seeing the commercials for it, but I don't think I ever watched it. If I did, I seen maybe one episode. It's like Persons Unknown, I think is the name of the show. And so I was a fan. I am a fan, right? When Black Panther came out, I saw it twice in theater, and then as soon as it came out on streaming, I was watching it like every day. It was really bad. Not bad, but it was influential for me. I don't know, like something about the thought of first of all, a black superhero, second of all, Africa being the home of the first people, Africa being the home of the most intelligent people, and the most forward-moving people, it's a thought that I've always had in my head, like, well, whatever, I'm not even gonna go into it, but it's a thought I always had in my head. And so to see it on TV, in a movie, and then to see people from all walks of life, all backgrounds, all religions, all creeds, whatever, except that movie, it was huge for me. I cried. When I tell you I cried the entire night after finding out he passed, and then I woke up and I cried some more. I was a mess. I'm still inside. I'm still a mess. I have something I have to do today that I had already said I would do, so I'm dressed in being a human being. But when I get home, I will be back in mourning. I don't know, sometimes we think things in our head and like it really is not even what people are thinking. But I made 2 posts on Instagram about his passing and a post on Facebook, and I feel like maybe people will see it and think I'm being dramatic, because I always get accused of being too dramatic. Like, if I hurt myself, oh, she's just being dramatic. No, I feel pain. So because of that, I tend to like not share how I'm feeling, but this time I really could not let time pass and not say anything. He is one of those actors who I never expressed how I felt about him to other people unless he was already the topic of discussion. I've never publicly said he's one of my favorite actors, but he always has been, because I've been a fan for so long. And so I am sad. I am grateful that he shared his gifts with us. I am grateful that he was selfless and strong and powerful. And I am grateful to have ever even been alive at the same time as him. And I pray that his wife and his family are looking at the positive. You can be sad for however long you need to be sad, but eventually you need to pick yourself up. And you need to say, he's not in pain anymore. He no longer feels any ailments. And he did what he was supposed to do while he was here, which is why God took him so early. He served his purpose, and now he gets to live in paradise forever. And that is where I find comfort, because I have not mourned and grieved in this way since my father passed in 2016. So I just want to be an encouragement to you that you understand that while we may not get any more of him on screen, we have what he's already produced, and we have whatever he was already recording before he fell ill again. Not ill because he was already sick, but you know what I mean, like incapacitated. And I just hope and pray that we see this year as a pruning year. This is the year of pruning. 2020 has smacked us, watched us get back up, and then smacked us down again, right? And so it is my hope and my prayer that his family does what they need to do to grieve the loss and then continue his legacy. It is my prayer for his fans that we understand that he served his purpose. He is no longer in pain, and now we have to take all of that empowerment, all of that kindness, all of that confidence, everything that he embodied, and we have to now pay it forward, because he's not here to do it anymore. We can't rely on him anymore. We have to pay it forward ourselves. So I say that to say this. August on Netflix, I spent a lot of time watching certain shows, but I did also spend a few days, a couple days, rewatching him on Netflix and wherever else I could find him streaming. So I watched Black Panther. I watched the Avengers movies that he was in. I watched 21 Bridges. I watched that movie. I watched The Five Bloods probably 3 times this weekend. When I was watching that movie the first time prior to his passing, I was like, he is so, like, his presence, his energy that he brought to that role was so genuine. And who would have known that it was because he knows that eventually, sooner rather than later, it's going to be him who passes away. It's just so crazy. I don't know. It's just crazy. Anyway, so I said that to say that instead of watching new things on Netflix, I was rewatching things that I had already seen, that we've already talked about. And, yeah. So, that being said, I, of course, cannot let this list go by without mentioning The Umbrella Academy. It was the new season. It was lit. It was over too soon. And now I'm like, maybe they should be one of those series on Netflix that releases half the season in the summer and then the other half of the season in the winter. Like every other season. So like half the season in the summer and then the other half of the season in the winter. And we get our fill, because now I have a feeling before the end of this year, I'm going to end up watching the entire series over again because it was just that good. I just know myself, and it was so good, and I want to see it again. Anyway, so that's number one. Number one is Umbrella Academy. These are not in any particular order. They're literally just jotted down. Usually they're in the order that I watch them in. Sometimes, like I have it on my notebook today. Usually I have it in my phone in notes. And so I may have reordered some of them, but for the most part, this is the order that I watched them in. The next series is Dracula. Dracula it's a 1 season series. I don't really know what year it came out, but I don't think there's any more because of the way that it ended. Very good depiction of the original vampire, and super exciting and super suspenseful. Definitely recommend you watch it. The next is a movie that I was so late on, and that is number 3, Uncorked. Apparently everyone had seen this movie. I am a Niecy Nash fan, and I had no idea that this movie existed, and so I watched it, and I enjoyed it. I thought that the actors played the roles very well. I thought it was well written, well shot, well directed. So I commend all of them. If you are into like a person discovering themselves kind of a story, family story, if you're into like a black family story where a lot of times, like, especially, like old school black parents, they have a business and they expect their kids to run the business when they're old and decrepit and can't run it anymore. And so those things are components of it. I'm not going to give away the storyline. Just if you're into that kind of stuff, watch it. If you like Niecy Nash, watch it, because she does phenomenal as usual. Okay. Let's just get right into it. Why didn't anyone tell me about Lucifer? I saw the commercials on Fox for Lucifer, and I was like, that show is trash. First of all, why would I want to watch a show about the devil? My dumb behind. No, I'm just kidding. So what I did was I ignored it. I had no concern for it. I don't care, right? And I had seen people post online about, oh, Lucifer, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, whatever. Then Netflix picked up the show. It was on the news that they picked up the show and there's going to be a new season. And I was just like, I guess it's a good show, because why would Netflix pick it up if people weren't actually watching it? So then I was like, well, why did they cancel it? So in my research, I discovered that it's based off of a comic. And I was like, how did I miss this? I'm not like super Comic-Con comic like person, but I would like to say I'm like medium level. Like, I know about the comic books, I know about the stories, I know how certain editions began and ended. I would say I'm medium, right? Like, I'm not a super fan, I'm not like a high level fan, but like I'm right below the high level fans. That's me. I live in that area. I've seen every Marvel movie. I've seen, even the ones that I did not like, I saw them, I've seen most Batman movies. I think there's like 1 or 2 that I missed. I've seen, now because I've been on a mission, I've seen every X-Men movie. So I really thought that I was on it. And then I discover that Lucifer is based off of a comic from DC Comics. And so, which also threw me off, because like Fox is Marvel. I thought Fox was Marvel, but Lucifer is DC. So I was confused with that also. However, I watched this show, y'all. I watched 1 episode. I barely paid attention. I was at my sister's house. We were laughing, kikiing the whole time. I was doing laundry. I was busy. I was doing what I had to do. But every time I looked, it looked like something, interesting was going on, but it just wasn't keeping my attention that evening. Okay. 2nd episode, 3rd episode. I'm still at her house. They're still playing, right? I get home. I'm like, let me just start episode 5 from the beginning and see, what happens. I started episode 5 from the beginning, and I did not stop watching until the end of the series. This new season that Netflix produced included. I binged it for, I want to say, close to 3 weeks out of the whole month. Technically, this month was 6 weeks, right? Because the first landed on a Saturday, and the last day of the month ends this coming Tuesday, Monday. So technically it's 6 weeks. I spent 3 of those weeks, the 3 of the full weeks, watching this show. I think because in the beginning of the month I was finishing Umbrella Academy, and so as soon as that finished, I watched Animal Cracker and Dracula, and then the rest of the month I spent watching Lucifer. Oh, and Uncorked. And then the rest of the month I spent watching Lucifer. I think I paused Lucifer momentarily to watch The Power Project, and there's a reason my face is this close to the camera. It's because it was so good. It was so good. Like, when I tell y'all, if anybody is asking me what they should watch on Netflix right now, I'm gonna tell you Lucifer. I never thought I would say those words, but Lucifer gave me all of my cop drama, Buffy the Vampire Slayer fantasy in one. Like, it was everything. Like, it is hands down one of my favorite things on Netflix, period. Not just in August, just period. It's so good. And I'm sad that it's over because I want to see another season, and I want to see it today. So that's that on that. So let's recap, because I've done a lot of tangents. So first we talked about Umbrella Academy. It was lit. Second, we talked about Dracula, which was a good series. It was 1 season. Take the time, just watch it. It's good. Uncorked, which was a movie. And then we talked about Lucifer. That's where we are right now. That's 4 things on Netflix, right? So this last thing that I want to talk about before I get into my other categories is Animal Cracker. That movie was so cute. Okay, so if you like family movies, if you like cartoon movies, like similar to Sing, or like similar to like The Greatest Showman, or like, even though that wasn't a cartoon, but it's like, you know, circus. What else is another movie? Oh, the Nut Job. Like those kind of movies, those little cartoon movies that are like family friendly. This movie is so cute. It's freaking adorable. Loved it. Probably gonna watch it again and again and again and again and again because it was just so cute. So if you like those cute little family movies, even if you don't have a family, I don't have no children. There are no children in my family. My sisters are grown. None of us have children. Same for my brother. Grown, no children. Okay? So, I just watch stuff sometimes, like SpongeBob. I watch SpongeBob. And what about it? Like, you know? So, if you like those little family cartoons, watch Animal Cracker. And that's all I have to say on that. So, top 5 is Umbrella Academy, Dracula, Uncorked, Lucifer, and Animal Cracker. Next, I want to talk about some honorable mentions and then some spicy stuff, okay? Some spicy stuff. So, Power Project, right? I wanted to mention this in my honorable mentions, not because it was such a great movie, because I don't think I understand why the movie was created. And that's just me being honest. I don't understand the plot of the movie. I understand. Now, this might be a spoiler, so if you want to skip this part, just go on ahead and skip. I understood that Jamie Foxx's character had been through something, or he was like the source, right? I think he was the source of the power or whatever, and he had been through something, and he was trying to find his daughter, or his daughter is the source, but he's like the actual source, and then his daughter had like the ability also, something like that, right? I think that's what I gathered. So they took his daughter, and he was looking for his daughter, and in the process he meets up with this little girl who reminds him of his daughter, but she got her own issues because she's selling these things that are similar to drugs that mutate your body so that she could pay for her mother to have her diabetes treatments. And then there's a cop who she's working with who protects her because he knows why she's selling these drugs, right? But he's also trying to find the source so he can stop it from being criminal activity. It just, even with all of that, I thought that young woman did an amazing job. Her flow when she raps is lovely. I love it. That's a rapper flow. That's not like a Nicki Minaj, people who say they're rappers from Miami. No offense. It's not that kind of, it's a hip hop flow. That's what I should say. They have rapper flows. They do. But they don't have hip hop flows. She got a straight up hip hop flow. Her freestyles, whether she wrote them, someone else wrote them, her delivery is straight up hip hop. And I was here for it. I was here for it. If nothing else, her chemistry with Jamie Foxx on screen made me love that movie. I still don't know what the heck that movie was about, but I would watch it again because I just liked watching them together, and I liked watching her do her own thing. When she went on her little rappity rap in the classroom, I was so sad when that was like her, like in her head, like it wasn't real. So storyline beyond me. Movie, just watch it. Decide for yourself if you like it. It was an honorable mention for me, and kudos for their chemistry on screen. Now, we're gonna get into my second honorable mention, which is The Last Dance, right? The Last Dance. First of all, let me tell y'all something. This might be weird, especially if you're my age or younger, but Scottie Pippen just does something for me. So watching him over and over in every episode is just him and John Starks. I just be like, I was a child when they were like, I don't even know. They old enough to be my father, both of them. They old enough to be my daddy. My daddy had me when he was 30, 29. 27, 29. Yeah, 29. They old enough to be my daddy. But anyway. Anywho. Back on topic. Michael Jordan never really did it for me. I liked his baldness. I liked his dark skinness. But something about him I just never trusted. Except for when he did, Space Jam. That was my favorite movie for a while. Space Jam was my favorite movie as a child. It was, because there was music, there was acting, there was cartoons, there was real people, there's basketball, baseball, golf, like, it just had every topic that I was into as a child. Let me get back on track. The Last Dance was enjoyable for me because I knew most of the stuff that they were talking about. It wasn't news. A lot of it wasn't news. Like, them folks doing drugs, not news. The injustices, I call them injustices because I love me some Dennis Rodman. So the injustices against Dennis Rodman, not news. How Dennis Rodman felt about himself and how he felt about other players, not news. That man always speaks his mind. What he was doing in Vegas, not news. Some things that Michael Jordan said, I was like, wow, who would have thought? Oh, wow, yeah, cool. Just wrap it up because I'm talking too long about it. I enjoyed the series. Would I watch it again? Probably so, because Scottie Pippen. Scottie, I'm so dumb. No, but seriously, I would watch it again. Because I'm sure there's stuff that I missed while I was distracted by the beauty of people and all that other kind of stuff. So I would watch it again. I do suggest that you watch it if you haven't seen it on ESPN. I think they're also going to put it on Disney Plus. So it's just like, take the time and watch it because it's good. It does move slow at times, and you need to be prepared to not watch it all in one sitting. I wouldn't binge it. I didn't binge it. I watched it, and then I would watch something else, and then I went back to it, and then I would watch something else, and then I would go. I couldn't binge it. It wasn't that kind of thing because number one, it is a documentary, and number two, as much as I love basketball, and I actually do, basketball is the only sport where it makes sense for me to watch old games, and it's only because, number one, I don't be remembering who won them games when I was a kid, and number two, watching certain players be great at basketball is entertaining to me. So like watching Michael Jordan fly to the hoop is insane to me. So I would watch that over and over for my life. Watching Dennis Rodman play, period. I would watch that over and over for life. I'm not because I would, watch games over. I would watch this documentary over because I like to see the highlights from the games that they were talking about. If I had to make a criticism, I didn't like the jumping back and forth. If you're gonna go in chronological order, go in chronological order. Otherwise, just talk about instant to instant to instant, but don't go in chronological order for 40 minutes of an episode and then for the last 10 minutes jump all the way back to 1987, and then you start the new episode in 1995. It was a lot for my brain to keep track of, because usually when I'm watching Netflix, I'm doing something else. So I don't have time to sit there and watch the screen and go, oh, okay, well, they were just in 87 and now they're in 95. Okay, I got it. I don't have time for that. So other than that, perfect, good. Watch it again, yes. You should watch it, yes. Besides all of that, I have been watching a lot of Christmas movies, especially before I started Lucifer, because what had happened was we changed our cable plan, so we had the ESPN sports package, and we didn't have the family and reality TV package anymore. And because we changed packages, I lost Hallmark Channel. Because I lost Hallmark Channel, I missed Christmas in July. So we were finally fed up with everything. We couldn't watch the Food Network. It was what are we doing here? And so we switched back to the family and reality TV plan. So now we have Hallmark Channel again. So I finally got to watch an episode of Golden Girls for the first time all summer. I stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning so I could watch Golden Girls last night. I did that. So that's also what I was doing on Netflix. And then finally, because I don't want to be before you any longer than I have to be, and I know this video is already over 10 minutes. Finally, I just want to do another. This I'm going to put in the guilty pleasure category, not because it is an actual guilty pleasure, but because of all the stigma around the show currently. So basically, I watched the first 5 episodes of Moesha. I do intend to go back and watch the entire series because I want to justify mentally why I loved her so much as a child, even though I was a chubby baby. I wasn't fat, but I was, extra. I had some extra. So because of that, I do want to go back and watch. But before I stopped watching, was I laughing? Absolutely. Was some stuff funny? Yes. Was some stuff not funny? Was I not laughing at the stuff that I didn't feel was funny? Absolutely. I did not laugh if I did not think it was funny, even if the audience laughed. You're not going to fat shame. I don't like that. You're not going to talk about how skinny your other friend is because you're insecure about your weight. You're not going to call Niecy dumb every episode. Come on. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be the person who puts people down so that you can be the top person in your friend group. You should be hanging out with bosses. If I'm a boss, I want to be around bosses. I want to be around people better than me, bigger than me, smarter than me, that go harder than me. Why? Because I want to get to where they're at. So, I got a little frustrated. I stopped watching it. But I love Brandy. Brandy is the reason I braid hair. Brandy is the reason I love braids in my hair. Brandy is one of the reasons I love music. Stop. So I'm not going to bash her, especially since she didn't write her own script. However, I need to know that there's some sort of remorse. And I would like to see them take the woman who played Kim and help her. I feel like after the show she struggled so much, and it was because of how she felt about herself, yes, but also the reinforcement of how she felt about herself based off of the show. On that show, she was not big. She's short. So she might look a little thick. She probably wasn't even over 200 pounds in that show. She's tiny. I'm 5'3". In high school, I was 160 pounds. I felt like I was 300 pounds because everyone else was so, like, differently shaped. You know what I'm saying? So 160 pounds in high school is not, like, out of this world. It was overweight for high school. But, come on. We have to stop treating people like this, making them feel bad about themselves, and then they grow up to be hating themselves and stuff. With that being said, I just want some sort of closure on the issues I'm having with the show before I move forward with watching the show. I hear that Sister has joined the party. I see the game has joined the party, but I didn't like the game after BET, so I'm gonna have to figure out if I want to see it. Not after BET, once it hit BET. So I'm gonna have to figure out if I want to see that or not. And I'm anticipating One-on-One, All of Us, those types of shows. Those are the shows I want to see. Like all the shows that have all the banging intros. Those are the ones I'm looking for, right? Through this journey of discovery and finding you and finding me, right? I'm not gonna keep going, but I want to. I love intro music since like Family Matters, Full House, and anyway, that is all for today. So to recap, in no particular order other than the order I watched them in. Umbrella Academy was number 1, Dracula number 2, Uncorked number 3, Lucifer number 4, and Animal Cracker number 5. Honorable mentions: Power Project. Watch it for yourself. Let me know how you like it. And The Last Dance. Finally, my guilty pleasure, which I've already justified why it's my guilty pleasure, even though I love this show. Moesha. That is all for today. I hope you guys have a blessed week. Be kind to yourselves and each other. Live, love, and laugh. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you in my next video. Bye.